TheorySabers.com.
Time has come. It's over. We're all doomed. It seems that this is making the rounds like crazy. Everyone's been sending it to me. It's popping up all over the internet. Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Guardian. Let's go ahead and check this out. The Ray movie we were supposed to get. And everyone was like, what is this, dude? Apparently, that movie being canceled or being delayed is just because it's going to be turned into the new sequel trilogy, episode 10, 11, 12. Let's go ahead and read the information here, apparently. Exclusive. Lucasfilm has closed a deal with Simon Kinberg. And if you don't know who that is, he did Logan, I believe. Is that correct? To develop a trilogy of Star Wars films. Kinberg will write the trio and produce them with Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy. Biggest mistake. I heard this will comprise episodes 10 to 12 of the Skywalker saga that began with George Lucas's 1977 first film. There's no point really saying that anymore because now it's just all about the sequels, what they created, which they completely went against his timeline. Which, along with Steven Spielberg's Jaws, reshaped the global blockbuster game. Insiders disputed my intel that Kinberg will continue that storyline, saying this instead will begin a new saga and sit alongside percolating Star Wars projects with James Mangold, Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, The Ray Movie, Taika Waititi, and Donald Glover. Well, Taika Waititi's film is out. Donald Glover, we don't have any intel on his Lando movie at all. As usual, Lucasfilm and Disney are not commenting. Yeah, of course. Spielberg previously worked with Lucasfilm in co-creating with Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck the Emmy-nominated animated series Rebels that ran for 4 seasons. He was also a consultant for episode 7, with J.J. Abrams directed the film that reviewed the franchise in 2015. He also has been heavily involved in other franchises as writer or producer. That includes a decade spent on the X-Men films and the Logan spin-off film that starred Hugh Jackman and was directed by Mangold. Ah, okay, interesting. Interesting. He was also producer of the first 2 Deadpool films and exec producer of the 2024 blockbuster Deadpool and Wolverine. He produced the Ridley Scott-directed The Martian, and has scripted such films as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, co-wrote the film that launched the Sherlock Holmes franchise with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. And he also produced a bunch of other shit that I don't know. Interesting. So as of right now, he's signed to do 3 films, a trilogy. And what this person is saying is that the information for this trilogy is it's actually going to be episode 10, 11, 12. And it's going to be continuing on. It's going to sit alongside the Ray movie. Charmin Obaid-Chinoy. So this is what I'm getting from it. These 2 are out of the picture. We don't even have these. These are like non-existent. The James Mangold movie is, if you guys didn't remember, that's going to be the Dawn of the Jedi. That's like the first Jedi that ever existed. We have comics on that. I don't know how well they're going to adapt it, or they're going to do their own thing as usual, or if they're going to take inspiration from the cool legend stories. But I'm not really sure. What do you guys think about this? I really want them to just leave the sequel trilogy in the past. They had a amazing setup. They could have taken George's story for it, which was supposed to have Luke Skywalker, Leia, Darth Maul, Darth Talon. I mean, you want to talk about cool female characters. Darth Talon probably would have been everybody's number 1 favorite character, female or male. She would have been bad ass. Not to mention she's also super hot, so like every nerd is just going to be like fawning over her, and every chick is wanting to dress up as her, so it's like a win-win, and she's a really cool character. But anyways, it's unfortunate that they decided to go with their own convoluted mess, and now what we're going to have is even more of a convoluted mess, in my opinion, because how can you build a story of 10, 11, 12 on something that was half-assed? 7 had premise, 7 had promise, 7 was potentially going to be good. 8 came in there, shit on 7. 9 came in there, shit all over 8. And they were just having this back and forth war. Nobody knew exactly what was going on with the sequel trilogy. And I know this not only from the interviews from the cast members or the watching it per se, and judging for yourself and seeing that there really was no plan. But from the people that I know behind the scenes who are very close to George, very high up, people within Lucasfilm, who have confirmed that there literally was no freaking plan whatsoever. And that's unfortunate. So I'm wondering, how are they going to pull this out of their hat and create something that's a 10, 11, 12 that makes sense? Hopefully they go into it with a little more care. Yeah, they are beating a dead dog at this point. I know. It's, and it sucks, man. It's like, how are they going to turn that around? How are they going to turn anything around after the sequel trilogy if they don't just shoot 500 years into the future where all that stuff is dead and gone and doesn't exist anymore? You know what I'm saying? Hear me out. This is not going to happen. That's also a possibility. Illyrio brings up a good point. We've gotten a lot of projects from Lucasfilm, a lot of promised projects that ended up failing and not going through. And it makes you wonder, is this just another one of those? Is this just another project that, it's making the rounds, social media, articles are going to cover it. I mean, look at all these articles. These are big publications. They're covering this. Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. I mean, there's probably more. Yeah, everyone on Twitter, X. So yeah, AI09 confirms Simon Kinberg is developing, writing, and producing a new trilogy of Star Wars movies. Would be the start of a new saga, so not necessarily a Skywalker saga. So the reason why I think it's Skywalker saga is because of this right here. And instead will begin a new saga and sit alongside percolating Star Wars projects with James Mangold, blah, 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 blah. So maybe they mean sit alongside as in there's a lot of projects going on, but I took it as sitting alongside Star Wars projects such as Charmin Obeyed Chinoy. And really, if you're going to be doing a trilogy, my God, I hope it's Old Republic, but the way this is sounding is that they're going to go 10, 11, 12. And the reason that the Rey movie got delayed so much or was having so many online shit issues and rumors is because they're turning this into a full-on trilogy and not just one movie. And so they want to now probably take the story they had and slow it down and expand it into 3. That's crazy. That's crazy. It could be Old Republic. It could be all the way in the future, but the way the rumors are making it sound, man, I don't know. Let's see Variety. What does Variety say? Lucasfilm is developing a new Star Wars trilogy with Kinberg set to produce 3 films with studio chief Kathleen Kennedy. Ugh. We know if Kathleen's on board, it's probably going to be Rey. Because that's what they have their heart set on right now. That's what she wants to do. Right? The Dave Filoni movie is handled. He's taking care of it. Now we know that the Rey movie is having issues or being delayed or whatever it might be. And so Kathleen's going to go in there and she's going to be like, all right, we need to do 3 movies, Rey movie, and she's going to double down. And she wanted to have something that's going to be very, what'd she say? I want to do something, I want big before I retire or some crap like that. So it's like, you already did. You did something huge. You destroyed Star Wars. And now let's see, just please retire, enjoy all your money, enjoy your successes. You did a great job as a producer on many of the films that I grew up with. But besides that, you're destroying Star Wars. I don't want you in there. This will begin a new series with new characters after Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, a new series with new characters after Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker starring Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac concluded the original 9-chapter Skywalker saga in 2019. Though plot details haven't been revealed, Lucasfilm has disputed the notion, first suggested by Deadline in their initial report of the forthcoming trilogy, that Kinberg's movies will continue the story that George Lucas began in 77's A New Hope, introducing Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker here, blah, blah, blah. Disney currently has Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian and Grogu, a continuation of the Disney Plus series, coming 2026, along with 2 untitled Star Wars movies set for December 2026 and December 2027. Lucasfilm has several other Star Wars projects in the works from filmmakers Mangold, Charmin Obeyed Chinoy. No, it's not others. These are literally the 2 movies that they just spoke of right here. So the James Mangold movie is supposed to come out in 2027, and the Rey movie was set to come out in 2026, but it is now delayed. But it's ambiguous which of these will be the first to hit the big screen. New installments in the space opera series from director Patty Jenkins, which was like canned, then okayed again, then canned. Marvel producer Kevin Feige, The Last Jedi director Ryan Johnson. So the creators, no, this, okay, who wrote this? Variety? Yeah, no. I think they're just writing as much shit as they can write to get that SEO in there. No. How can it be Skywalker Saga if there's no Skywalkers left? Hey, don't forget, Rey's a Skywalker now. Disney needs to take their own advice. Let the past die, kill it if you must. And that's the unfortunate thing. They didn't have to do that. They could have just full on done something that was congruent with George's story and made it really good for a lot of people. But instead, they decide to do their own shit and destroy it. And now we're in this situation where I don't want to even say the fandom is divided, because the new fans, I feel like, are a lot of them are just so intolerant of anyone's opinions, especially the people who came before. And I call them tourists, because they're there on a whim. They're there for a weekend, and then they go on to Marvel, they go on to whatever else, which is fine. But they act like they're so goddamn caring of Star Wars when they're not. When they have absolute intolerable ability to accept anyone else's opinions, including mine, yours, people who came before them, who have been riding with Star Wars when it wasn't cool. It's unfortunate what's happened to Star Wars and to the fandom, but I don't think it's too late. I always think there can be a return. I don't want to be pessimistic. I think there just needs to be proper leadership, and that's all it is. It just comes down to leadership, and I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is the right person to lead Star Wars. I mean, look at what she's done. Disney heard we were all happy Rey movie was canceled, only to be like, oh, you don't want that? Too bad. Here's more Rey. You better love it, or you're sexist. Yeah. You know, give me a movie about Darth Talon. I'd be happy with that. It will be fun to watch them cancel this in 2 years. I don't know, dude. Kathleen is like hell-bent on driving this franchise into the ground and just making more crap that she thinks is... I still can't believe that she said we have no source material. We have no comics. We have no books. It's... I don't know. If not in George's, Star Wars is best in the fans' hands. Yeah. Depends what fan, but yeah.